Gamecell is the kind of group that connects with gamers face-to-face. It ties together the subject of games and God. Many who come aren't into God, and that's perfectly fine, honestly, because the people who contribute who aren't into God, they're so important in our conversation. They're like the lifeblood of the whole thing, and what they say requires bold listening. So that's what Gamecell is really about, listening, especially to the new guys. There's 4 parts to a Gamecell meetup. First, it starts with making people feel welcomed and loved. We hand them a Game Church Bible and tell them, Jesus loves you. Second, it's discussion time. We break the ice with a game-related question. This creates a baseline that gives us something to build with, and we build on that with questions. What you see here is Failure Fun Night, and all of our questions and games were about failure. And by association, it's ultimately really all about grace, because you get up and you keep trying again. So our discussion master hands out a card to each question asker, and he lets people put their own voice on the question. First we asked, has anything ever made you feel like a failure? And after everybody shared, we asked, do video games make you less afraid of failure in the real world? And honestly, the answer is really positive. I wish that I had more time to give you everyone's response, and that's super good. But then, one of our more experienced guys taught, just for 2 minutes, and with a couple questions, but he was talking about Jesus, and how he brings the restoration of all things through a symbol of failure. You know it, say it with me, the cross. Next, the discussion master handed one of our new guys a Bible and a specific verse to read. He did a great job reading it, by the way, but we talked about that for a little bit. Then we had a final question. Can you think of ways that failure is a good thing? And everybody had really concrete examples of ways that they had learned from a failure in their own lives. It was really good. Then we prayed. Again, this isn't a group of Christians. I'd say that less than half are really into Jesus, but they're all into the conversation, and I think that's super fascinating. Part 3, snack time. You don't want to leave these guys with an empty stomach, so we take a brief intermission to just talk and eat and stuff. For the main event, we head downstairs, where the conversation continues, but this time, controllers are in hand and it's go time. The games that we play always tie into the subject. Like I said, tonight was Failure Fun Night, which meant that all the games involved high levels of failure, and that also meant that we were laughing a lot more than usual. This, what you're looking at here, is a game called Sumo Pucky. And earlier in the evening, each one of our new guys got the controller for just a little while as they took turns with Counter Spy, which was a game about the fun of averting failure. In this case, that failure is a nuclear disaster. We ask questions related to the games, and the questions get everybody to think deeper. And sometimes you get some really funny reactions. This time we played a game called Helldivers, where players really needed to work together as a team because it's easy to get your teammates killed, but it's actually really funny when that happens too. We asked the question, are mistakes a good teacher, especially when you can laugh at them? And I thought that was kind of an obvious yes, but we followed up on that with other questions like, can failing teach us while also being really fun? They might be simple questions, but they get players to think, and it encourages a culture that questions what they're doing and why they're doing it. From there, we have a soft finish. A lot of guys have to work in the morning, so we just kind of like keep going for a little bit. And the idea is that Gamecell and the deeper engagement with life belief in games doesn't come to a conclusion. It just keeps going throughout our lives. And that's what we hope to really develop in Gamecell, lifelong relationships that just keep going on. So yeah, that's it. That's Gamecell. It's a game group model that connects face-to-face over thoughtful game engagement and discussion around biblical ideas.
Want to learn more? Connect with me at mjoshua on Twitter.